You had a bad day. You didn't say anything about it. Didn't cry. Didn't call anyone. You just came home, sat down a little heavier than usual, and stared at nothing for a while. And then your dog appeared. Not jumping. Not bringing a toy. Not asking for dinner. Just walking over quietly and pressing against your leg. Chin on your knee. Eyes up. That look. You know the one. Soft, still, like they already know something is wrong, even though you haven't made a sound. Most people wave it off. She just wants attention. He was probably bored. It's a coincidence. But here's what's actually happening, and once you understand it, you won't wave it off again. Because your dog didn't guess, they detected something real, something chemical, something you didn't even realize you were broadcasting. And what they chose to do about it is one of the most quietly remarkable things in all of animal behavior. Your dog can smell your emotions, not in a poetic sense, in a literal, measurable, peer-reviewed sense. When you're stressed, anxious, or sad, your body chemistry shifts. Cortisol rises, adrenaline changes. Your sweat and breath carry volatile organic compounds that alter depending on your emotional state. You can't detect those changes. Your dog can. In 2022, researchers at Queen's University Belfast collected sweat and breath samples from people during calm states and during stress. Then they let dogs try to distinguish between the two. The accuracy was 93.75%. Not a lucky guess, not a trained trick. The dogs were reading a chemical signal as clear to them as a facial expression is to you. And it goes deeper than detection. Studies on cortisol synchronization have shown that over time, dogs' stress hormones begin to mirror their owners. Not just in the moment, over weeks, months. Your sadness has a scent, and your dog has been reading it since the day you met. But smell is only one channel. Your dog is also watching your face, and they're reading it with a precision that used to surprise researchers. A team at the University of Lincoln found something that sets dogs apart from nearly every other species. Dogs combine what they see on your face with what they hear in your voice, and they process those two streams together into one emotional picture. That's called cross-modal emotional recognition. Humans do it. Primates do it. Dogs do it. Almost nothing else does. And dogs have a physical adaptation that makes this even sharper. They carry a small muscle above their eyes that wolves don't have. It evolved for communication. To send and receive emotional signals with humans more effectively. They literally grew a new muscle to see us more clearly. And what they see when you're hurting, they don't ignore it. So your dog smells the shift, reads your face, hears the change in your voice. What do they do next? This is where it stops being interesting and starts being remarkable. In 2018, researchers at Johns Hopkins set up an experiment. Dogs watched their owners through a clear door. Half the owners hummed quietly. The other half cried. The dogs whose owners were crying opened the door 3 times faster. But here's the part that matters most. While they were doing it, they showed elevated stress. Their own heart rates went up. Their own cortisol spiked. They were upset, and they came anyway. That's not training. That's not conditioning. That's a dog feeling a version of your pain and choosing to move toward it instead of away. And here's the part that keeps catching people off guard. Because it's the thing dogs do better than most humans in your life, when your dog shows up in a hard moment, they don't try to fix anything. They don't offer solutions. They don't tell you to calm down. They don't say, Everything happens for a reason. They just stay. They press their weight against you. They breathe. They sit in the discomfort without flinching, without pulling away, without trying to change what you're feeling. For a lot of people, and this is not an exaggeration, that is the most comforting response they have ever received from anyone, from any species. And there's a reason it works so well. Physical contact with a trusted dog reduces cortisol and raises oxytocin in humans within minutes, not hours, minutes. Your dog's body heat, their breathing rhythm, the pressure of their weight, all of it sends a signal straight to your nervous system. Not cheer up, not it'll pass, just safe. You're safe right now. They're not doing nothing when they sit with you. They're doing something your brain recognizes at a level deeper than language. But it doesn't stop at one moment. A lot of dogs change their entire pattern when their owner is going through something difficult. Some dogs get quieter. They stop bringing the ball. They match your pace. If you move slow, they move slow. If you sit still for an hour, they lie at your feet for an hour. Others go the other direction. More contact, closer following, refusing to leave the room, pressing harder against you than usual, like they're trying to hold you in place. Both versions mean the same thing. The dog is recalibrating, adjusting to what they're reading in you, not because someone trained them to, because that's what their nervous system does with yours. Your dog isn't reacting to one bad evening. They've been tuned into your emotional frequency for months, maybe years. Their system has been quietly adjusting to yours the whole time. And there's one more piece most people never think about. Dogs don't just react to sadness when it shows up. There's growing evidence they learn to anticipate it. If you tend to feel worse in the evenings, your dog may start positioning themselves near you before the shift even hits. If certain phone calls change your energy, your dog may learn to watch for those too. Not because they understand what happened, because they've mapped the pattern. Just like they learn that shoes mean a walk, they learn that certain rhythms in your day produce a version of you that needs company. Your dog doesn't understand what went wrong, but they understand that something goes wrong, and they've already decided where they'll be when it does. So the next time you're on the couch, staring at nothing, feeling a little heavier than you'd like, and your dog appears out of nowhere, presses against your side, and just breathes, don't wave it off. They didn't wander over because they were bored. They didn't come for food. They came because they smelled the shift, read the change, and made a quiet decision, not to fix it, but to stay. Not every animal does this. Not every bond allows it. But yours does. Because dogs don't speak in words. They speak in signals. Small, quiet, constant signals. And sometimes, the most powerful thing they ever say is the simplest. I'm here.